In an era of sweeping conquests and unprecedented prosperity for the kingdom of Macedon, a man was born who was destined to fundamentally alter the course of world history. His name was Alexander. With fair hair flowing in the breeze and a captivating gaze remarkable for its distinctiveness, one eye brown as autumn leaves, the other sky blue, like a reflection of a clear day, he seemed more a messenger from the heavens than an ordinary mortal prince. As subsequent events confirmed, his life's journey proved worthy of the legends of Heracles and Perseus. He was born in 356 BC in Pella, then the capital of Macedon, to King Philip II and Queen Olympias. Yet, this was no ordinary birth. Olympias, a woman of deep faith and a princess of Epirus, claimed her ancestry traced back to Achilles himself, the hero of the Trojan War, celebrated through the ages. According to her, on the night of Alexander's conception, Zeus, the thunderer and lord of Olympus, appeared in a blinding flash of lightning to father her child. Philip also received a divine omen. He dreamt that Olympias's womb was sealed with the mark of a lion, a powerful symbol in Greek culture, representing strength, royalty, and divine favor. For him, the meaning was clear: his son was born for great achievements and glory. And at the very moment Alexander came into the world, the temple of Artemis in Ephesus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, was engulfed in flames and reduced to ashes. Legend has it that the goddess Artemis was so engrossed in observing Alexander's birth that she could not save her sanctuary from the fire. Every sign, every symbol, every legend pointed to one thing: this child was destined for an exceptional fate. How did such a promising beginning shape this man's life? What trials and triumphs awaited him on his path to greatness? The answers to these questions would define his place in history and unveil the mystery of his incredible legacy, which would live on for centuries. From his earliest years, young Alexander was destined for great achievements. As heir to the Macedonian throne, he grew up amidst luxury, ambitious designs, and immense expectations. However, behind the splendor of the palace walls stood 2 powerful figures who profoundly influenced the formation of his character: his mother, Olympias, and his father, Philip. Philip, Alexander's father, was a man whose vision for his son's future differed significantly from his mother's. Olympias, a woman of unyielding character, played a pivotal role in Alexander's life. She enthusiastically shared with him myths, rituals, and legends of heroes' divine origins, insistently instilling the idea of his special, otherworldly nature, that he was the son of Zeus himself. Alexander unequivocally believed this, and this conviction served as his compass throughout his life. Philip, hardened by fierce battles and the intricacies of political intrigue, dreamed of seeing his son not only as a valiant warrior but also as a wise ruler, a far-sighted leader, a philosopher on the throne. At 13, Alexander was entrusted to the tutelage of Aristotle, the brilliant philosopher and pupil of Plato. Their lessons took place in a secluded grove known as the Sanctuary of the Nymphs in Mysa. Here, Alexander, along with a select group of young Macedonians, delved into the study of philosophy, ethics, politics, medicine, and poetry. Among his companions were future commanders who would later accompany him on campaigns across various continents. Homer's Iliad made a particular impression on young Alexander. He revered Achilles, seeing in the Trojan War hero not merely a mythical character, but a role model, the embodiment of the ideal of how one should live, fight, and rule. Soon, Alexander was to face his first serious test. At 16, Philip, embarking on a military campaign, left him to govern Macedon. When a Thracian rebellion erupted, Alexander displayed extraordinary resolve. He personally led the army, suppressed the revolt, and founded a new city on the conquered lands, naming it Alexandropolis. This first experience of conquest foreshadowed his future triumphs. Moreover, his unique bond with horses became legendary. The stallion Bucephalus, wild and untamable, allowed no one to approach him. However, Alexander noticed what others did not: the horse was afraid of its own shadow. He turned Bucephalus towards the sun and managed to mount him. Philip, astonished by what he saw, declared, "My son, you must seek a kingdom worthy of your ambitions. Macedon is too small for you. At the age of 18, Alexander distinguished himself in the Battle of Kyrenia, fighting alongside his father. In this clash with the powerful alliance of Athens, Thebes, and other Greek city-states, Alexander led the elite companions' cavalry, delivering a devastating blow to the enemy. The enemy lines broke, the Macedonian army achieved a triumphant victory, and the young prince demonstrated not only personal bravery but also outstanding strategic abilities. A year later, Philip established the Corinthian League, a politico-military alliance that united virtually all Greek states, with the exception of Sparta. Although each polis retained a degree of autonomy, they were now united by a common goal: retribution against Persia. For over a century, Persian domination had remained a painful memory for the Greeks, a symbol of invaders and oppressors. Philip's ambitious designs now became evident: to shift military operations to the east. A grand expedition was planned, intended to crush the Persian Empire. However, a sudden tragedy altered the course of events. In 336 BC, during the celebration of his daughter Cleopatra's wedding to the king of Epirus, Philip was assassinated by one of his bodyguards. The motives for this heinous act remained unclear. Some spoke of personal revenge, others of a meticulously planned conspiracy. But the fact remained: Philip was dead. In this atmosphere of chaos and uncertainty, only one man was ready to accept the challenge and ascend the Macedonian throne: Alexander, a 20-year-old youth destined to become king of Macedon. He inherited not only the crown but also the most powerful army in the Greek world, the loyalty of seasoned commanders, and his father's unfulfilled dream. However, Alexander had no intention of merely continuing Philip's work. He aimed to surpass his achievements. His gaze was fixed on the east, on Persia, on creating a vast empire, on achieving immortality. Thus began his legend. Over the ensuing years, he would sweep triumphantly across Asia, forever changing the map of the world. From the banks of the Nile to the peaks of the Himalayas, he would forge a path of conquest so audacious and far-reaching that his name would shine brightest in the annals of history. His great story was only just beginning, and the world was yet to comprehend the transformations that awaited it.